أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all the students. I welcome you to another G4 Holy Qur'an Recitation Course for Muta'allimat. So we will now start our class with the recitation of the Holy Qur'an. Could I kindly request the support teacher to please pick a student for the recitation?
G4329.
G4329. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, the next one, G4344.
G4344. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the following words? Start with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين.
Translation.
Our Lord, pour forth upon us steadfastness, and cause us to die resigned unto thee.
Jazakallah. You recited very well. I liked your flow, mashallah. But just one thing, that remember the letters of throat, ayn here, okay? And also we have to do a small nasal sound, rawa, okay? Jazakallah. Moving on to hadith. Could I have a student for that?
G4413.
G4413. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Could you recite for me this hadith? Please start with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidum majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidum majid. An Uthman radiyallahu qala Rasulullah khairukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allamahu. Hazrat Uthman bin Affan radiyallahu anhu narrated that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The best among you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it."
Jazakallah. Jazakallah, mashallah, you recited very well. Just one here point that you paused here, Ibrahima. If you pause here, Ibrahima, you can start from wa'ala because wa is a connecting word. So you don't need to go back to Ibrahima.
Okay.
Okay, Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Moving on to Malfuzat. Could I have a student for that?
G4304.
G4304.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the following malfuzat? Start with ta'awuz and tasmiyah.
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It simply came to our notice then that the appropriate word he remembers quickly. That is why he said, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنِ لِلذِّكْرِ. Al-Qamar verse 23, meaning, and indeed we have made the Quran easy to remember, but is there anyone who would take heed? Chapter 54 verse 23. It is in human nature not to remember a thing unless it is repeated over and over again. Why was it repeatedly called Subhana Rabbi al-Ali and Subhan Rabbi al-Azim? Once was enough. No, this is the secret that frequent repetition has an effect, and it also creates an awareness in the unconscious forces. Therefore, Allah says,
Assalamu alaikum. I think we have disconnected with the student. That's okay. So it says, وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, meaning, and remember Allah much that you may prosper. Chapter 8, verse 46.
sorry,
So, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Sorry, I got muted. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
that's
Jazakallah.
okay. That's okay. Would you like to recite again from وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ? Oh, that's okay. So moving on to the quiz, I would like to pass over to the TA to please conduct the quiz.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. So now we are going to start our quiz, and question number 1 for today's quiz is, which of the following is not an attributive name of the Holy Quran? A. Al-Kitab, B. Unity, C. Shifa'un, or D. Kalamullah. ST, please choose an ID for the answer.
G4 329.
G4 329. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I think it's B, unity.
Jazakillah, and your answer is correct. It is unity is not the name of the Holy Quran. Next question. When is a letter called Saakin? A. When it carries Adama. B. When it carries Mada. C. When it carries Shadda. Or option D. When it carries Sukun. ST, please unmute another ID.
G4409.
G4409. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
So what's the correct option in your opinion?
D, when it carries sukoon.
D. Jazakillah, and your answer is correct. When it carries sukoon, it becomes a Saakin letter. So our next question is, how many chapters or surahs are there in the Quran? A. 112, B. 113, C. 114, or D. 115. ST, please unmute another ID.
G4367.
G4367. Walaikum assalam. So which option would you choose?
Option C.
Option C. Jazakillah. Well done. You chose the correct answer option. And question number 4 is, to which country did the mother of Prophet Ishmael or Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam belong? Was she from Egypt or Misr? B. Persia or Faris? C. Hijaz or Syria or Sham? ST, please unmute an ID for it.
G4408.
G4408. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. I think it's Syria.
Option D. Oh, but unfortunately, the correct option is option A. She was from Egypt or Misr. Anyways, Jazakillah. And last question of our today's quiz is, how many doors of hell are mentioned by the Holy Quran? A, 5 doors, B, 9 doors, C, 3 doors, or option D, 7 doors. ST, please, we need one last participant for the quiz.
G4 332.
G4 332, Assalamu alaikum. Okay, what is the correct option in your opinion?
I think it's D, 7 doors.
Perfect, Jazakillah. And you are right. Hell has 7 doors. So this concludes our today's quiz. So I pass on to our DT again. Jazakumullah, everyone.
Jazakallah. So we will now move on to the main lesson of today. We would be learning and practicing al-huruf al-qalqala, which means letters which are pronounced with a jerking sound. So the first thing we need to know is what is the meaning of qalqala. So qalqala means to shake, to jerk, or to vibrate. And huruf al-qalqala means those letters which are pronounced with a jerking sound. So with a slight vibration that produces echo. So following are the 5 letters of qalqala out of the 29 Arabic letters. We can see here. And for easy reference, we have to memorize the following word. As you can see here, let me highlight it. Qutbu jaddin. Okay, Qutbu jaddin. This carries all the 5 letters of qalqala. Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, and Dal. Okay. Another point that we have to remember is that Qaf and Ta will be pronounced with a thick jerk. So tafkhim sound here. And Ba, Jim, and Dal will be pronounced with a thin jerk, tarqiq. So for example, we have Ta, Qaf, and Ta. So this would be pronounced with a thick jerk. Iq, Sat, and Ba, Jim, and Dal will be pronounced with a thin jerk, tarqiq. Ib, Aj, Jid. Okay? So from here, we need to know how can we identify a qalqala letter. So an important point to keep in mind is that qalqala letter must always be mute with a sukoon or a jazm. So when a qalqala letter is making a jerking sound, it must be mute with a sukoon. As you can see here, we have highlighted some words. We have a qaf and dal. And here we have qaf here as well. These are all letters of qalqala and they have to be mute. So the following example we just highlighted here, the qaf has a sukoon. So there's an original sukoon on top and we would do a jerk here. However, following the line, we have dal and dal carries a kasra. So there's a waqf sign here as well. So what do? It does not carry any sukoon. So we need to remember that when we do waqf here, the kasra will turn into a conditional sukoon. Okay. So moving on to different types of qalqala. So there are different types of qalqala mentioned in the Holy Quran. For the first 2 types, the qalqala letter carries an original sukoon. So here we can see the dal and the jim already carry a original sukoon. However, for the first part, it is in the middle of a word. Okay, as you can see, it is in the middle of the word. However, with the second one, it is at the end of a word and it carries a sukoon. And for the third and fourth type of qalqala, the letter comes at the end of a verse in waqf. So for the third one, pausing at a voweled qalqala letter, which is changed into a conditional sukoon. So here we can see there's a waqf sign and the dal, it is a qalqala letter and it carries a dammatain. So when we do waqf here, a conditional sukoon will come on top. So the condition is when we do waqf, the vowel will change into a sukoon. Same here, the jim, it carries a kasratain and we have a waqf sign. So this will change, the jim will carry a sukoon on top when we will do waqf here. The fourth type of qalqala is when pausing on a mushaddat qalqala letter. So here we can see again, there's a waqf sign and the qalqala letter carries a shadda. So you can see the small W, it is called a shadda or a tashdid. We have learned about it. So when we do waqf here, this will, sukoon will come on top, okay? And the vowel will change into a sukoon. However, we will still pronounce the shadda. So moving on to, before I move on to different level or degrees of qalqala, if I can have a student, yes?
G4366.
G4366. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Could you recite for me the first two lines? Start with always and tasmiyah.
Okay. أعوذ بالله الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا أقسم بهذا البلد لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد.
Yes, well done. You recited the qalqala here well, but in this one here as well, you recited well. But here, there I couldn't hear that much jerking sound. So could you? I will recite the first verse, and then can you repeat after me?
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm a little bit confused. Shall I pronounce this la thick or thin?
This is thin. The la is only pronounced thick in Allah. So the rest of the la is pronounced with a thin sound. Okay? Do you want me to recite it? Then you can repeat after me.
Okay. Yes.
لا أقسم بهذا البلد.
Okay. لا أقسم بهذا البلد.
بلد.
بلد.
Yes, well done. That was excellent. Jazakallah. Could I have another student?
G4375.
G4375. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the last line, the two lines? Start with ta'awuz and tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب إن بطش ربك لشديد إنه هو يبدي ويعيد.
Jazakallah, mashallah, your tone was very nice. It was very melodious. Just one thing I would like to highlight. I hope you remember that in the first lesson, one of the major mistakes is to not prolong the fatha dhamma kasra. So you prolonged this dal with kasra in the sha, the sheen. So make sure that you do not prolong it. Also, here the qalqala, qaf. Do you remember what type of letter qaf is from our previous lesson? Is it, I think we have disconnected with the student. Okay, that's okay. Could the Assalamu alaikum? Yes?
Walaikum salam. It's a letter which you do qalqala upon. Like it's a qalqala
Yeah,
letter.
it's a qalqala letter. Well done. But how do we pronounce it? Do we pronounce it with a thick voice or a thin voice?
A thick voice.
Yeah, that's right. So you pronounced it well, but I couldn't hear the thickness of it. So could you recite with me? And I will recite it and then you can follow. Okay? وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقُ
وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقُ.
That was perfect. And also you pronounced it with a thick sound. That was excellent. And you remembered it is a tafkhim letter. So well done. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz. So moving on to different categories or levels of qalqala. So we have learned different types of qalqala, but what level do we do the jerk? So for qalqala, there are 3 levels: soft, moderate, and strong. So in the middle of a word, the jerk would be pronounced softly. Here we can see this qaf, it comes in the middle of a word and it would be pronounced with a soft jerk. سَنُقْرِئُكَ فَلَا تَنْسَى. So remember, just a soft jerk, not a strong one. The second level is moderate. So when we would do a waqf at a qalqala letter, the vowel will change into a conditional sukoon, and we would pronounce a medium to moderate jerk. Here you can see there's a waqf sign, and the qaf, it carries a kasra. So we are doing waqf here. So a conditional sukoon will come on top, and we will do a moderate jerk on that. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. Okay, and the third and the last is a strong jerk. So when any qalqala letter with a shadda sign is present at the end of a word in waqf. So here we can see there's a waqf sign and the ba is a qalqala letter, but it carries a shadda. So when we do waqf here, the fatha will change into a sukoon. However, we have to bear in mind that we will pronounce the shadda sound strongly. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب. Okay, I hope you could hear the levels of jerking. Inshallah, we will practice this more in our classes, and inshallah, we will get the hang of it. If I could have a student to practice these jerking sounds.
G4410.
G4410. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the first 2 lines? But just remember that the highlighted letters with red should be pronounced with a soft jerk, okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سنقرئك فلا تنسى.
Okay, you just prolong this dhamma. Do not prolong it. سنقرئك فلا تنسى.
سنقرئك فلا تنسى.
Okay, nice try, but you still prolonged the dhamma. So make sure that we do not prolong any short vowels. Could you recite the second line?
الذي أطعمهم من جوع وأمنهم من خوف.
Okay, Jazakallah. Well done for your effort. Again, you prolonged the fatha, so make sure that you do not prolong it. And also, do you know the waqf rule about la? Or
you can say Jew in what?
yeah, so whenever you say in Holy Quran la means that you cannot stop here. So it is not permissible to stop here.
Okay.
So you could have said الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم. You could have stopped here and recited from وآمنهم من خوف. Could you try it again?
I can certainly do. الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Well done for your effort, mashallah. So keep practicing this at your home, okay? Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz. So now we are reaching towards practicing Surah Al-Furqan. I would like to hand over to the TA.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
So, assalamu alaikum everyone. It's time to start some practice with the students. So, ST, please unmute a student for the practice of recitation.
Assalamualaikum. Sorry, before we start the practice of the surah, can I just request everyone to please check their ID, make sure that you are signing with your correct ID and not your name. Jazakallah. And if I could request ID G4 314 to come on mic, please.
G4 314. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So, could you please start after Tabuz and Tasmiyah?
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
Well done, Jazakallah, well done. Mashallah, your recitation is very good. You hardly made any mistake. Just one thing I noticed that do you know which type of raw is it?
Yes, it's the it's like a thick sound, like raw.
Yes, and I think you missed making a thick sound of it here and here as well. So please recite from here to here as well.
Okay.
Once again, sorry.
وقال الرسول
Okay, don't prolong this raw. Try again.
وقال الرسول يا ربي.
Well done. And what will you do with this ba when you make a pause over here?
Yeah, it's Rabb.
Rabb. So if you are doing a pause here, this ba will change into above kalkala, yes. And strong kalkala, rule of strong kalkala will apply on this ba, right?
Yes.
So it will become Ya Rabb.
Ya Rabb.
And how will you continue?
Inna qawmi ittakhadhu hadha هذا القرآن مهجورا.
Perfect. Very well done. And G4 314. Jazakillah. Okay. As you all of you know that we have started a new segment in our Quran classes, which is called as Tahsinul Qira. So we have a student here from Al Hafizun Academy. She will recite a few verses for you. So Esti, please unmute help student, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I am also fine. And could you please start the recitation after Tabuz and Tasmiyah?
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا. وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا. ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
Jazakallah, student. Very well done, mashallah. You recited so well, and I hope everyone has noticed how she applied the rules of recitation during all her recitation of these verses. So, Jazakallah, dear student. Inshallah, we will give you another opportunity to recite in our class, in our future classes. Very well done, Jazakallah. Okay, I hope all students learn from this recitation, and you can watch the videos of these classes through our YouTube channel, Talimul-Quran YouTube channel, and to improve your recitation. Okay, ST, please unmute another student for the recitation.
Yes. G4 304.
G4 304. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, can you come a bit closer to the mic? I can hardly hear you.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah.
Yes, that's fine. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullah. Okay, could you please start the recitation after Tabuz and Tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. From okay, Jazakallah. وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا.
Jazakallah. Mashallah, it was a good recitation. Just here I noticed that you were struggling with your breath and you couldn't continue till here. So it wasn't correct pause. So it is aduwam minal mujrimin. So in the condition of pause, this noon changes into a noon sakin. And if you want to make a pause over here, so it becomes min, and then you can carry on by joining a few words with the next bit of the verse. So please recite from here again.
عدوا من المجرمين.
Jazakillah, that's correct now. Rest of things are okay. And what about this ra? Should we pronounce it in a thick sound or a thin sound?
A thick sound.
Yes. So how would you pronounce this word?
Nasira.
Well done. Jazakillah. G4 304. ST, please unmute and other ID.
G4 333.
G4 333. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullah. Okay, could you please start after Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا.
Jazakallah, it was a good effort. Okay. There are a few corrections for you. Here, I think you prolong this noon, where it is a noon. This noon is carrying a short stroke, so we are not supposed to prolong it. It is Al-Qur'anu. Okay?
Al-Qur'anu.
Yes, and you paused here in the middle of the letter, which is not correct according to the rules of recitation or tajweed. So if you want to make a pause, you can make a pause over here. And how will you make a pause? You will change this ta'i marbuta into a ha sakin, and without these tanween mark, okay? It will change into a ha sakin only. And how will you recite from here to here after applying waqf rule?
Jumlatam wahidat dah
Yes,
wahida.
yes, wahida. And are you familiar with these three dots on
Yes, we
here?
have to stop in either one of these.
Yes, exactly. This is Moanica sign. This is called Moanica sign, and you can stop either here or here. Okay. Okay. Suppose you are not stopping here. So how would you recite up to here? And you have to make a pause over here. Okay. So start from here.
Jumlatam wahidatan kadhalik.
Good, but here you had to make a nasal sound. Wahidatan kazalik. Okay.
Wahidatan kadhalik.
Perfect. Okay. Now, would you try reciting from here? And now you are not making a pause on this sign. Okay. Suppose you have made a pause on wahida. How will you continue?
كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك.
Yes, this kaf will change into kaf Saakin in case of pause. Okay, and mashallah, you recited here correctly, and you joined the previous bit with the rest of the verse perfectly. And which kind of alif is it? Which rule applies on this alif?
Sorry, I don't know. Please, can you
Okay,
say?
the tanween over the lam is will be changed into a fatha, simple fatha, short stroke, but because it is followed by a blank alif, so this is alif of mad. Okay, alif maddiya. So we will prolong this lam as tartila. Yes, for 2 seconds or more, because this is the end of the verse. Okay. Okay. Jazakillah. G4 333. ST, please unmute another ID.
G4420.
G4420. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. Could you please start after Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
From here.
Okay. Walaya.
One more time, please. Wala.
Wala ya wala yahtunaka biha salin
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Wala yahtunaka bimathalin lillah jihnaka bilhaqqi wa aksana taqsira.
Jazakillah, mashallah. You tried to recite well. That is good. I think I should highlight this mistake first, because this is a basic error which can change the meaning of the word or verse. So this is the word and the letter fa, and you pronounce it as qaf. So it is tafsira. Okay, it is fa.
Tafsira.
Yes, good. And mashallah, you prolonged this alif madya correctly. And here you also you change the word, but you correct it yourself. So what this word is?
Yahtunaka.
Perfect. And okay, please recite from here to here again. And you have to make a pause over here. Okay, you have to change this letter according to the rules of waqf.
Okay. بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق.
Perfect. So which letter it became?
Is the strong it's in the middle, so it's a bit mild. It's soft.
No, in case of making a pause over here, which type of qalqala you did?
If you are stopping there, then it would be a strong calcula because of the shadda.
Perfect. Yes, you had to make you made strong qalqala over here, which is correct, mashallah. And I think rest of the recitation was okay. So jazakallah. Okay, so please unmute another ID.
G4 343.
G4 343. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Okay, please start the recitation after Tabuz and Tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
Well done, Jazakallah. Okay, what do you know about this la sign?
That you shouldn't stop.
You shouldn't stop. And you made a pause here?
Yes.
Right. Okay, try to avoid stopping here. And if you stop, if you cannot continue due to your breath for any reason, yes, it is correct to make a pause over here by changing this meme into meme Saakin, and then you can carry on by joining the previous letter with the rest of the bit of the verse. So can you please try one more time without pausing here? Start from here.
إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
Well done, Jazakallah. Okay. Can you point any letter of qalqala in this line?
The qaf, the key.
Yes. Qaf in which condition?
I'm not sure.
Okay. When
thick.
Yes, when you make a pause on the word bil haqq, then this qaf will change into a qaf of qalqala. Okay. And we will do a strong qalqala on this qaf because it is carrying a shadda letter. It is mushaddad qaf, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Jazakillah. What's your ID? G4?
343.
G4 343. Well done. Jazakillah.
Takallum.
Okay. Now, because we are left with a few minutes, so I pass on the mic back to our DT. Jazakumullah, everyone.
And Jazakallah, let me share my screen here. Okay, so we only have few minutes, so we will practice the moderate jerking sound of qalqala. Just a reminder that when we do waqf and we have a qalqala letter which carries a vowel, which is kasra here, so it changes into a conditional sukoon. So could I have a student on the mic to practice this jerk?
G4 340.
G4 340. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the first two lines? Start with ta'awuz and tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء والطارق والله من ورائهم محيط.
Okay, Jazakallah, mashallah, you recited very well. Just one thing here, could you tell me the zara, what type of letter it is?
This is ra with taqfim.
Yes.
Ra has conditional taqfim when it has fatah or dhamma or followed by fatah or dhamma.
Yes.
It will be with taqfim.
Yeah, that's right. Well done, mashallah. You told me very well. So I just wanted to highlight that pronounce it with a thick sound. And also we have a madul kabir. Do you know how long we prolong it for?
Mad kabir, we prolong it to 5 to 7 seconds.
Yes, so 5 to 6 seconds. Well done. Yeah, so you prolonged it a bit less. So just I wanted to highlight that. So well done, Jazakallah.
Shall I read it again?
Yes, please. The second line.
Okay. Wallahu min waraihim muhit.
Okay, well done. Just remember, do you remember what type of letter ta is?
Ta is also a letter of takhfim.
Yeah,
And,
yes. So when we do jerk here, make sure that we do a thick jerk. So, okay, just remember that. Yeah, muhit.
Muhit.
Well done. That was perfect. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz. So quickly moving on to the strong jerk, just a reminder that when we are doing waqf and a qalqala letter carries a shadda, so it will be changed, the vowel will be changed into a sukoon, but we will pronounce the shadda with a strong jerk. Could I have a student for that?
G4 367.
G4 367. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the first two lines? Start with ta'awuz and tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويقتلون النبيين بغير الحق ولعذاب الآخرة أشق.
Well done. You recited very well. Just one point, you prolonged the ayn for 2 seconds, I think. So make sure that no fatha dhamma kasra is prolonged for more than 1 second. Just one question. Do you remember we have a noon mushaddad here? What type of rule applies here?
Whenever it's noon mushaddad, we have to make a ghunna sound for 2 seconds.
Yes, well done. So I couldn't hear that ghunna sound a bit. So could you recite it for me, this verse again, by following that?
وَيَقْتُلُونَ النَّبِيِّينَ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ
That was perfect, mashallah. And just one thing, Qaf is a qalqala letter as we learned today. Could you tell me what type of jerk will we do here?
It's a slight qalqala.
Yes, well done. It will be a soft jerk. That's perfect. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz. So we are almost at the end of our class. Before we end the class, I would just like to highlight one thing. One student was asking that when do we pronounce lam with a thick sound? So just a reminder to everyone, we only pronounce lam with a thick sound in lamul jalala. So in Allah. So the previous letter, if it carries a fatha or a dhamma, the Allah will be pronounced with a thick sound. If the previous letter carries a kasra, it will be pronounced with a thin sound. So the rest of the Allahs, if they carry any type of strokes, will be pronounced with a thin sound. So that was just a reminder. And we don't have time to go through the prayers, so make sure that you recite it at home. And the homework that I want to give everyone is that practice the qalqala with Surah Al-Falaq. Surah Al-Falaq is the best surah to practice our qalqala. And it is very important that whenever we recite the Holy Quran, that we apply all the rules that we have learned in our class. Because without practice, we will never get the hang of it. So I hope all students will practice at home. Inshallah, see you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.